One of my subs, in this case, Knuckles of Chidna, asked me, can you do a video response on Destiny goes in on men and women? Okay, Knuckles, I'm going to do what I can. And I'm telling you now, Knuckles, it was painful. Now, for those of you who don't know, Destiny is one of those YouTubers with a weird level of e-fame where a lot of people have heard of him, but most people haven't, right? Now, he gets upset mainly with men, not women, but men. And in the meantime, he has this video he's responding to where women discuss what they want in a male partner. And as you can see, it says ideal lifestyle, houses and cars. Everything they discuss is about what the man makes. Right. So I want you to keep that in mind before we get in on this. By the way, thank you, Brain Rot Politics. He put together this 8-minute clip that shows Destiny. Now, let's get into it.
Can guys and girls be friends and just casually hang out without ever making it explicit? No.
They can't just casually hang out, for one thing. Women have told men, Destiny, that they don't want to just hang out. They want dates. They want to be paid for their time. And the reason they say this is women don't really care to be with men. This is going to really trigger you, but they don't. And that's why men have to pay, okay?
No, you need to make it explicit because men are fucking retards. And you want to know what? You want to know a secret? As somebody that spent a lot of time on the other side, women are fucking retards too, okay? Only a woman will say some absolutely brain dead like, oh, there's this one guy, he's been single for 5 years, he's my closest friend, he does my laundry, he comes over and he rubs my back, and every time I'm having trouble with people, he's always a shoulder for me to cry on. But like, I don't think he's into me or anything, but I really like having him around to do all of my shit for me constantly.
So that doesn't really make her stupid. She's just lying. She's just using him. Destiny, why can't you just admit to yourself that the woman's lying? She's just using the man. And she's getting a lot out of it. There's nothing stupid about that. She's getting what she wants, and she doesn't have to contribute anything in return. So you don't know what you're talking about. Or I would say more to the point, you're in denial.
Right? As long as women are stuck in permanent 50 social IQ mode like that, or they're in denial, then no, you need to be explicit. Both sides need to be explicit. But men all do.
Quit begging, Destiny. Those women are out 50 IQ points. They're getting exactly what they want in the deal.
The same shit too, where guys tend to f on girls, so it's a little bit different. But yeah, guys will do the same shit too. We're like, oh yeah, like I'm friends with this girl and we hook up sometimes, and you know, like she called me when her parents were dead, and you know, sometimes I give her a whole bunch of compliments and I tell her she's really special to me and shit to get her to come over to my place and suck my dick. But like, no, I think we're like just chill or whatever. Like, I don't think she's like obsessed with me or anything, even though she like texts me, you know, like every morning, and I usually ignore. Right? Guys will say the same.
Sorry. The guy he just described doesn't exist. This is fiction on his part. This is more of the, what is that? The equivalence fallacy. Sorry, Destiny. You're going to have to deal with reality. Men do not play those games like women do. Men want to be with women. Women are the ones who don't give a shit about being with men. Deal with that.
Everybody's retarded. That's why it would be easier if everybody was explicit about anything. None of you people can read body language. None of you people care about if anybody is comfortable. Everybody's selfish and an asshole. So no, everybody should just be explicit to make it so much easier. That would be the ideal. But that's...
How would that woman who was using that guy in your first example, how would she get what she wanted if she was explicit? If she explicitly came out and said, yeah, I like you doing stuff for me, but I'm not interested in you in a romantic sexual way. It wouldn't work for her, would it, Destiny? He would dump her if she was explicit about her usury.
That's not going to happen. So until then, it's probably good to take shortcuts to figure out like what people are thinking. So, and one easy shortcut is if somebody invites you back to the place, they're probably thinking about sex. If you're inviting somebody back to your place, you're sending a signal that you're interested in sex. So if you don't want to have sex with somebody, don't go to their place alone. Boom, easy. Okay? Like, men are basically like...
Women aren't stupid though. They like wasting men's time. They like pulling men along. So what are you offering? Like, why would a woman follow your advice, Destiny, when they enjoy doing that?
salesman when it comes to fucking women, where your goal is to push as hard as you can, not to get them to walk away from the sale, but to break them down until you're going to get them to agree to sign the papers. That's like essentially how a lot of guys approach sex. Stop.
Well, dude, destiny. I mean, men wouldn't be salesmen if women weren't selling, right? Or if women wanted to be with men, they wouldn't need to be salesmen. Men are salesmen because women don't really want to be with them. They have to sell themselves. And before we go any further, as you can see, here's this video that Destiny is responding to. And what are the questions? The ideal age for a man, how much these women want to contribute. That's interesting. You know, ideal lifestyle, houses and cars. Her ideal $1.5 million car, yes. What range of income they want from their partner. That's right. This woman wants someone who makes $650,000 a year. Right. Every segment here has something to do with a man's earning potential and his status destiny. And that's what you're watching, right? It has nothing to do about the man's, soul or his personality or anything like that. So you know what's going on.
A lot of guys approach sex. Stop trying to both sides this issue. Women inviting abuse by not being upfront as on women. Don't retract by trying to mention men as if they are the ones playing these games. Except
this guy just called Destiny out. Exactly. He's trying the false equivalency fallacy. But it's the women who are playing the games. The women set up the rules. They play the game. The men are just doing what they can to get what they want, to get anything. And watch how triggered Destiny gets over this.
Not you fucking because men play these stupid games too. That's why the most popular advice from men on the internet come from red pillars that are trying to tell you to fuck your way through your entire 20s and then ruin those women, because by the time you hit 30, you're looking for a woman that's only had one dick inside her maybe in her entire.
Did you just hear that? Fuck all these girls and ruin these women. Destiny, do you not hear yourself speak? How is men banging women ruining those women? He just admitted that he thinks women who are banged by guys are ruined by that. I didn't realize you were TradCon, Destiny. I always assumed that you were a male feminist. I mean, it's up to you to tell us what you are. But with the blue hair, I always assumed you were a male feminist. If you are, then it just proves what we at the Pro Male Collective have been saying all along, that feminists and TradCons are the same people. They're two sides of the same coin. Destiny, you're male hostile. You think that you don't like the idea of a woman being banged by a guy other than you. So you're a typical TradCon.
Life. So yes, men play these games too, right? The buck stops wherever the wanted to stop, but you can easily say, like, for instance, it's women's fault for not being explicit about what they want, right? Why, if a woman wants to hook up, why not just say it? Well, the problem is if she does say it, a guy will call her slut and then go and find another girl, right? So no, these games are.
You're full of shit, Destiny. You're either full of shit or even worse, you don't even know what's going on. You don't know gender dynamics. If a woman accepts a guy, he doesn't call her a slut and move on. He accepts her back. Because that's what guys are struggling to do. That's what you're doing. This man, Destiny, everyone, lives for the validation of the opposite sex. He absolutely does. So these men, Destiny, would be getting with those girls. Men might prefer a woman that hasn't been touched by another man, but they accept a woman who has. That's a fact.
Enforced by both sides because all of you are every single one of you, okay? Men and women are both full-on retards. But this is one little itty-bitty iota thing that you have control over, which is if you are a woman, don't go to a guy's house unless you're willing to. Don't invite him to your house unless you want him to. Because that's the signal that you're sending, and that's the signal they're sending. So just avoid it. That's like the one itty-bitty clear piece of advice, and then you can still play games, you can still do whatever the you want, but that's the one piece of advice. But just don't do that particular thing, and it will keep you out of so much trouble.
What trouble do women get into? What is this man talking about? Why would these women take your advice? They hold all the cards. Hashtag Me Too only works one way, Destiny. A woman can lead a man on, reject him, and that was it. And there isn't any problem. And even if a man does touch her, she goes to the police and they arrest the guy. There's nothing, women have all the cards. There's no reason for them to take your advice.
Promise. It will keep you out of so much trouble. This would be a both sides issue. It's affecting both sides equally. Red pill became popular because it isn't. Men just have to cope with being called racist, and they can't even get an ugly girl to f them. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to say this. I'm sorry. I'm going to go hard on this. Okay? If you can't get a...
Okay. Destiny is a man who can't get laid. And this frustrates him. And that's why he's becoming triggered over this.
Single girl, like even a fat girl to f on Tinder, it's your fault. You're f shit up. It's not because of polygamy. It's because you're a f loser. It's because you either don't know how to text, you can't take a picture that doesn't look like you're Michael J. Fox while you're holding the camera, you can't have a conversation to save your fucking life. That's on you. If you can't even pork her on Tinder, then you're f***ing up. It's don't blame the polygamy, don't blame Evo Psych. That's your problem.
Really? So Destiny just went over an hour. It's almost an hour and a half long video where women were telling men that they want men with lots of money. They talked about houses, they talked about cars, they talked about vacations. Children were in there somewhere too. So Destiny, what are you going on about? It's not, if you were honest with these guys and you would say it's your fault, then tell them to make money. That's the one thing Destiny will never do. He will never deal with the truth of it. Tell these guys to make money, Destiny, and bribe these women into their lives. These women did not talk about the man being a great conversationalist. Okay?
Okay? I could f people on Tinder without advertising anywhere when I lived in Nebraska, and I'm like probably like a lower...
I don't believe you at all, Destiny. None whatsoever. You know why, everyone? Any video I've seen Destiny in, he's never has a girlfriend in the background at all. He's always by himself. And like, again, you just said, like, you've just responded to a video where women want men with status. Right. So they're not going to just pick you up and bang you because they saw you on the internet, Destiny. No one's believing that. No one.
Than, and I'm not a 6 foot tall dude. I'm not shredded or anything. And even I could multiple women on Tinder without plugging my stream shit, right? They're not going to be 10 out of 10s or whatever. But like, yeah, you can find people to do it. And that's in Nebraska. Okay. You have no excuse. If you can't do anything, then that's on you, motherfucker. Figure your shit out. Stop blaming the fucking world. Stop using weird Evo Psych. Stop watching all these people that are turning you into antisocial incel fucking losers. Okay.
Okay, so these guys are making them incels and they're making them antisocial. But also he's talking about these guys. Notice this video he responded to. Look at it. It's the last section says Destiny realizes channel for men. And who's hosting it? A woman. Now, this whole thread was again about women talking about what men earn. And then this woman, this POA, talks about men's hygiene. Why is she talking about hygiene when the women never mentioned about men's hygiene? That they only mentioned about what they make for a living, right? So this woman being a POA and leading men astray, that's not his issue. His issue is when men do it and gain out of it.
Figure out how to have a real conversation with somebody. Figure out how to treat a woman like a human being, and figure out how to take a picture, all right, that doesn't look like it was from a Polaroid.
A conversation and treating them like a human being, but these women never asked for that. They talked about what the man made, period.
In 1997, and you'll probably be able to f at least one person in the next 3 months. I believe in you, buddy. Okay? Swipe a lot, buy Tinder Silver, stop being an antisocial loser who thinks that Sorry. Back to this. I'm sorry. Okay.
All right. That was a nightmare for him. That was him projecting his issues onto these guys.
Don't. Starting on January 1st, I'm going back to my understanding, sympathetic, empathetic, all that whatever cuckathetic bullshit.
So your empathetic and sympathetic ways were blaming men for women ditching them. That's empathetic, all right.
I'm doing, but you know what? I don't have internet right now, and I'm getting triggered by the red pill loser antisocial in chat. I have to see.
So if these guys admit that the women reject them, how does that make them red pill?
See so many chat logs. I have so many single female friends that show me so many things.
Really, you have so many female friends? You mean you don't have female girlfriends? So you're friend zoned. Okay.
These guys do, and it's actually so.
So you were that first example you showed here, right? Where the guy who does all these things for these women and they use him and he doesn't get anywhere. That's what you just admitted, Destiny. You have all these female friends. And again, I don't see any girlfriends in the background here, right?
Unbelievable how loserish most of you fucking men are. You're disgusting. You're rapists.
Rapist? How are they rapist?
You don't know how to have conversations with anybody, and then you show up and you watch these podcasts about hustle culture, being your own strong for good, building your own shit, and you can't even do your laundry. You live in an apartment with 3 pieces of furniture. You don't know how to.
Destiny, do you not realize people can see your background? What furniture do you have in your background? I don't see any fine ottomans or bureaus or coffee tables. I see nothing made of wood back there. So you're projecting your issues onto these men.
Trying to make your bed, okay? You think it's gay to clean your ass? You've got a 5-in-1 body wash that you've never shaved in your entire life, like, and then you go on to these red pill podcasts. And you're like, yeah, it's the polygamy. It's the polygamy. That's what's dating apps is destroying us. Really, bro? Because of one study in 2004 by OkCupid, you're going to say the dating apps have destroyed the modern dating market? Get the fuck out of here.
No, I mean, women just never wanted to be with men. Destiny. You're for living proof because you don't have a girlfriend with you there, right? And notice it's one study, really. So OkCupid actually showed what women wanted, and that upset you. Destiny, do you have any evidence that shows the opposite? You don't have any, do you? So it is that study showed men something that you didn't want to see, and now you're upset. So now you're going to try and downplay it. That's pretty pathetic, Destiny.
Put in 1 ounce of effort in anything in your entire fucking life, okay? Before you go crawling to these red pillars online, who are only fucking women because of their clout, by the way, that they're getting off of losers like you, okay? Red pill shit online. I said that it was the OnlyFans for men. That's actually not true. I lied when I said that. It's fucking Amway for men, okay? Red pill shit online is Amway for men. You get a bunch of guys that are basically telling you this is what you need to do to fuck women, kind of like people selling multi-level marketing schemes like this is how you're going to get rich, but the only way those guys fuck women is because they have a lot of people watching them telling you how to get women to fuck, right?
Thank you, Destiny, for admitting that. Thank you for admitting that these guys get laid because of their status. I agree 100% with Destiny here. It's the gurus who build status that get the girls. The guys they're selling to don't get the girls because they don't build status. So you've admitted to it, Destiny. Then why are you going on about conversations and getting furniture and taking showers then? If it's all about status, which you've just admitted.
It's like a video with Fresh saying, oh, I fucked 3 men in one night. How'd you do that? Well, because I'm a popular YouTuber and an NBA guy hooked me up with 3 chicks, right? That's not women. That's not success.
I disagree. I mean, if your goal is to bang women and you gain enough success that they're attracted, then you've got what you wanted. What's going on here is Destiny wants to be loved for the person he is, and he can't get that. And by the way, Destiny, it's not just you. That's the way it is for all of us men. You know why? Because you just responded to a video where women had nothing to say about men other than what they made for their income. That's it. They talk about houses and cars and trips to Venice. Right. Exactly. So here's my advice to you, Destiny. Stop dyeing your hair blue and make money. But you know something, that advice I just gave him won't work, because you know something? Destiny's been around for a while, and he has reached his zenith for his fame and fortune. This is as good as he's going to get. And that's why he's upset this. You can't get any further. This is you've maxed out. And like you say, you've had, well, we'll see what he says what in the future, but the thing is, you can't get the girl on that. You don't have any more than 3 pieces of furniture behind you.
It doesn't count when you're successful because you're telling other people how to become successful, and that's where you got your success from, right? If you want to have really good sex, I've said this, I'm going to repeat this over and over again, okay? I've been with girls with all sorts of different levels of experience, from virgins to highly experienced women.
Really? How do you know they were virgins? Did they tell you? Now, this guy is trying to validate himself through women. Destiny, if these guys are losers, why don't you tell them to find something other than validation to the opposite sex? Wouldn't that go beyond just, loserdom? No, because this is what he considers important. Exactly.
All across the spectrum. And my 5 best sexual partners, bar none, it's not even close. Not even close. My 5 best sexual partners were the 5 women that I'd been in long-term relationships with. No one else is even close.
What's your idea of a long-term relationship? I bet it's not very long. You know why, Destiny? You don't look very old. For example, suppose your long-term relationships, the 5 of them, were 5 years each. Even that's not overly long, but 5 years. That would be 25 years. If you started when you were 20, that would make you 45. You don't look 45. Right. So these long-term relationships were probably less than 3 years each. 1 or 2 of them were probably only months. So in other words, they didn't last. And who was most likely to break off? You or them? They dumped you, right? So they're not interested in you. Why? Because they snatched onto you for your e-fame, and you didn't grow beyond what you are now, and so they lost interest in you, right? And also, it says something about the sex, right? If you've gotten all these together with all these girls on Tinder, and they were terrible sex, that's what you just admitted. That means women who just want sex from men don't want to put any effort into it. And the ones that put effort into it was hoping that you would be a wage slave for them. Right.
When it comes to like having really good sex, no one else is even close. But I say that, but you guys don't actually care. I don't think most of you guys care about sex or good sex. You just want to have sex with multiple women, with lots of women, because that makes you feel good about yourselves. Because you're fucking pathetic, you have no sense of self, and the external validation of women is the most important thing in your entire lives.
He just described himself, everybody. He projected himself onto these guys. Everything he said is about himself.
Like, so my statement there doesn't even fucking matter. It's a waste of time to even fucking say it. There's literally no point, because none of these people even care about having like good sex. They just want to fuck somebody so they can say they did it. And it makes them feel better about themselves. Or we just want to spread our seed further. Think before you open your mouth. And because the problem is right now, if I was standing in front of you, I would vomit because of how disgusting your breath would be. Because there's 15 different red pill loads that are oozing out of your disgusting, cock-sucking mouth because you just finished sucking off the last red pill. You want to spread your seed everywhere? What the are you, a fucking caveman? You know what?
They're really just saying, Destiny, that they would like to have multiple partners. And so would you, and so would I. So there's nothing wrong with saying that. There's nothing for you to get upset over.
Else you're built for? You're built for long distance running, climbing trees, and surviving in the forest. When was the last time you picked a berry? You were Probably never in your life. Don't talk to me about spreading the seed unless you're literally out there impregnating every woman you. That's not true, you moron. Jesus Christ. Well, my evolutionary psychology. The last fruit you think you ate was a cherry Coca-Cola, motherfucker. Don't talk to me about evil sight. Give me a second.
Yeah, he got really upset. Look, Destiny, where are you here? You validate yourself to the opposite sex. You want a girlfriend. You don't have 3 pieces of furniture back there. Find some way to make a 6-figure salary, and you can bribe one of these Uber women here, right? You can bribe this babe who wanted, $650,000 a year. Otherwise, find something to do with your life other than validating yourself around the opposite sex. How about that? I notice everyone, that's something that Destiny never says to these guys. He never says, here's I'm going to show empathy and sympathy, and this is what you should do, and make your life better. He never says that. So because he values it. He himself values this. And he was really upset and shocked over these women letting him know that they just cared about men and their incomes. Well, about their incomes, and that's it. I could actually show you some of this that would be very interesting. These women, at least 2 of them, said they wanted to be housewives. In other words, they wanted to leech off a man. And they wanted big houses, and they wouldn't even know how much square footage it is. They don't think about that. They only think, I want a big house. I mean, this is a separate video I could do just on this, okay? But we'll leave it at here. Like I said, Destiny, if you had any self-respect, well, you wouldn't be in the position you were in. Right. You wouldn't be getting upset over this. You were a very sad individual.